Hello everyone and welcome to your NARSA weekly update for the week commencing Monday the 12th of December 2022. Less than 2 weeks to go till Santa comes. It's Gary here again and we're getting closer and closer to the official start of Michael Beale's competitive tenure as Rangers Football Club's first team manager, and I cannot wait to get back into it. Again, for one last week, I hope you had a good week, or a good last week, I should say, under relatively stress-free conditions as it relates to Rangers. Anyway, as the World Cup marches on, I did mention last week that our restart this week comes when Borna Barisic, I think I said Stitch there, maybe I did. Is still at the World Cup as he looks like he's marching on to the final. And at the time of recording right now, it's 5:42 p.m. Mountain Standard Time in Calgary here, and that's still very much a possibility, with Croatia due to face Argentina in the first semi-final tomorrow at noon my time, 7 p.m. UK. Wouldn't that be something to have one of our first team squad in the World Cup final? I mean, it's already an incredible achievement to have him in the semi-final, but I mean, to have him in the final would be even better, so good on him. And then good luck to Croatia. However, Leo in the pool that Chloe fixed that I talked about last week, Leo has Argentina in that, and believe it or not, he also has Morocco. Wouldn't that be something if Argentina played Morocco in the final and Leo is then a winner's chicken dinner? You never know. So good luck to Croatia for Borna. Good luck to Argentina for Leo, and I guess we'll just see how it all pans out from there. So this week I'm going to have to start with a real bit of somber news, I'm afraid, folks. Late last week I had learned from Lorraine Spence, our NARSA Executive Committee member, that former NARSA Secretary and long-standing member of London Rangers Supporters Club in Ontario, Terry Zellis, was in a bad way, in real failing health. And I hadn't personally seen Terry for a number of years. I think it might have been in Vancouver 2016, but I genuinely, honestly can't remember when it was. Maybe she was in Vegas, I'm not sure. But every time I met her, she was always just so fun and friendly and bubbly and kind of full of mischief as well. She was a character, and unfortunately we learned that this past Friday Terry passed away. And I didn't know, I did know that she didn't keep in the best of health, but to learn of her rapid failing health so soon before her passing has left a feeling of absolute shock, to be quite honest, and not just for the entire NARSA community who knew her, but even further afield, based on some of the incredible, beautiful tributes that I've seen online since the word got out there over the weekend. What an incredible sense of loss that we're all collectively feeling, and that's when you know that the Rangers family is indeed just that, a family, because when we have these incredible senses of loss, that we really do band together, as one. And I'm going to read a wee bit here from her obituary, and I will post a link to this on the blurb tonight too. Teresa Marie of London passed away peacefully on Friday, December 9th, 2022, at the age of 54. Beloved daughter of Diane and the late Ron Zellis, Teresa is survived by her siblings Deborah Oakey of London and Andrew Zellis, Alison of St Thomas, nieces and nephews Shelby Oakey, Kane, and their son Oliver, Shania Alam Tanim, and their daughters Alara, Victoria Oakey, Tyler Zellis, Hope, Brooke Zellis, Dakota, Jacob Gold, Kelly, and Sean Gold, Rebecca. Now, forgive me, I don't know the names of these folks and what the significance in brackets of some of the names as well. Teresa will be missed by many aunts, uncles, and extended family members. Oh man, this is just so sad. And on behalf of the NARSA executive, I can only pass on our heartfelt sympathies and condolences to Terry's family and friends at what has to be an incredibly tough time for all. We did post a tribute on the main page, the main homepage of the NARSA site on the weekend, and we did send a communication out to our membership too. Terry literally was one of a kind, one of our own, and a fervent supporter of Rangers and and of NARSA, and she will be sorely missed. So rest in peace, Terry. Everything else that I'm going to talk about tonight just pales into insignificance at times like this, but I'll get on with the rest of the content for this week's show and do the best that I can. So on to the game segment for this past week. We had Saturday's friendly against Bayer Leverkusen, and we ran out very healthy 3-0 winners thanks to 2 goals from Malik Tillman and a late third from Scotty Arfield. Full disclosure on this one, I didn't watch the game as I just cannot motivate myself to watch friendlies, regardless of how much I miss watching the team, regardless of it being Michael Beale's first game, albeit non-competitive game, in the dugout. I just can't. Plus, I did a bit of a later night on Friday night. We had a bit of a family do, and then I had an early start on Saturday to get Leo to the mountains for his snowboard camp out at Sunshine. So I only kept an eye on the score only, and I haven't even seen the goals actually on replay as I kind of reflect on that as I'm just saying this stuff out loud. But watching Michael Beale's interview afterwards, he kind of echoed my sentiment towards the friendly by saying it was a bit of a distraction for him and for his staff and for the players, and he's kind of glad that it's out the way now and he can concentrate on the competitive action. So it feels like I'm in good company there with my soon-to-be best friend Michael Beale saying kind of the same thing as I did. As I mentioned last week, just on the games, we do have a bit of a funky reintroduction to our domestic games, starting with this Thursday's home match against Hibs, and that's Thursday the 15th at 8 p.m. UK time, and that's 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then after that, we are the following Tuesday against Aberdeen, the following Friday away to Ross County, the following Wednesday at home to Motherwell, and then on January the 2nd against that mob from the East End. And then we get back to weekend games with the Dundee United away game on the 8th of January. So as I mentioned last week, I think it's weird. I don't think I've ever seen a fixture list like this, and I know that it's the festive season and we're getting moved around for TV and things like that, but Thursday, Tuesday, Friday, Wednesday, Monday, then a Sunday. Just interesting. But the main one for us, of course, for this week is the match at home against Hibs, and we really truly want to get Michael Beale off to a flyer here, get the points down to just 6 points, and then see how that mob fare against Aberdeen on the weekend. Great news on the defensive front for Rangers for this coming week's game, as Michael Beale did confirm that both Ben Davies and, for me, more importantly, Connor Goldson are back in training. And in his words, in the original part of the interview, he said fighting fit for Thursday, and then he kind of qualified that a little bit later, saying, well, they're going to train on Monday and we'll see how they do, or train tomorrow maybe he said. I can't remember exactly what it was. But assuming they continue to be injury-free before Thursday, then we have more very strong defensive options with 2 of our better players back and available. So that's really positive news overall for both of them, and more importantly for the team. And hopefully that kind of vein continues as we move forward and we start to get some of the folks, some of the real contributors to the team back for this very crucial period that we've got to try and just kind of see where we're at and see how we're going to progress under Michael Beale in the early stages of his tenure as manager. Now, I don't normally talk about the women's team on here. It's always just about the men's first team for me. But on the women's side, you can't ignore this one. I'd like to send out huge congratulations to Malky Thompson and the women's team on securing their first Sky Sports Cup, and which is their version of the League Cup, in yesterday's 2-0 final win against Hibs, with goals from Lizzie Arnott and Kirsty Howitt sealing the victory in the game. So it's lots of firsts for this. This is the first time that Rangers have won this. It was the first time that I believe a Scottish women's game was broadcast live on Sky Sports, which can only be a good thing for further exposure for the domestic women's game in Scotland. So congratulations to everyone involved in that, and here's hoping the men's squad can perform similar feats this season too, definitely in the cups, and you never know how things will go in the league. But nice to see the women's team doing so well there. They had a couple of wee stutters recently with a couple of draws against the top teams, and they're I think they're about 3 points behind in the league table to try and defend their championship that they won last year. So a wee bit of work to do there. Still in touch at the top though, and to have the first domestic cup in the trophy room is a great thing for them. I wonder if, I imagine those trophies would go into the regular trophy room as well. There wouldn't be a separate one for the women, I don't think. I'd like to find that out. Wonder if anyone knows. If anyone knows, let me know. That would be interesting. For Rangers TV, we have, of course, our first reintroduction to domestic action this week. So I'd recommend that everyone just does a test on your account before the game on Thursday, so that if you have any issues, that we have plenty of time to get that organised. It's not always a guarantee someone will be available on game day to make sure that we get you the support that you need. You can log into your account from any device anywhere just to double check and test that it's looking okay, and if you have any issues you can contact Alan McWatt or myself and we will get you the support that you need. For shout outs this week, I just have the one, and it's a personal one. I wanted to pass on a big happy birthday message to my nephew. Now, I think I did this last year, or maybe it was the year before, I can't remember, but I'm going to tell you his name. His name is Michael Kevin McNally, who is celebrating his birthday on the 13th. So what's that? Well, that's tomorrow. And yeah, no joke, that's his name. And he is as big a blue nose as they come to boot as well. We used to have our season tickets together in the main stand there when I lived back home. And I could only imagine the laugh or the suspicion maybe that would have caused the folks in the ticket office when they see that renewal coming through every year. But you know what they say, you can't pick your family and you can't pick your family name and all that sort of thing. And what it actually does is, I say this stuff out loud, it actually reminds me that I do have other nephews back home who might listen to this. I'm not 100% sure if they do, but they're big Rangers fans as well. So, and I don't wish them a happy birthday. So next year, Paul and Stephen McLister, I will absolutely do it from now on. I just need to get the exact dates of your birthday, and we'll do it from there. But happy birthday, Michael, when it comes tomorrow, and I hope you have a great day. On the convention update, I can officially confirm it's 184 days and 26 weeks until Toronto Midtown go berserk in the centre of Toronto and give us a party that we will not forget. So firstly, one final reminder that we do have the hotel rooms out for sale, for public sale, and they are getting booked up. And the final reminder part is that this is the last week that you'll get to take advantage of the early bird discount. Up until the 15th of December, which is Thursday, you'll save $14 Canadian per night. And this is only up to and including the 15th of December. And remember, this will be Eastern Standard Time in Canada and North America. So from Friday onwards, it's going to be an extra $14 per night. So please don't miss out on that if you're planning to get it booked. My understanding is the hotel this year are not taking a deposit upon the booking. So you don't have to worry about getting your credit card charged right away. So there's really literally nothing to lose by booking it early and getting that saving on your account, because after that the system will just not allow it anymore. And if you're going to be staying for 3 or 4 or 5 nights, that's a chunk of change. You know, that's enough to get you a few beers or a couple of sandwiches or whatever it is you like to eat or drink. So please don't miss out on that. From next week onwards, we're back up to the regular rate from there. Another reminder that we do have the Holiday and Flight Centre, and they have their full packages for sale for folks who have expressed an interest from that. So you can go to @theconvention.com. That's @theconvention.com, and you'll get to see what they have on offer. And it's mostly for folks from the UK, and it's a one-stop shopping experience where you get your flights, your transfers in Toronto, your hotel room and event tickets for all 3 nights as well. And I know that these are selling pretty steadily, so please don't procrastinate on that one if you're genuinely thinking about coming next year and want the convenience of just going to the one place to get everything that you need. A wee bit more convenient for folks kind of like me who are I just can't be bothered going and booking a flight and then going and get my tickets and then going and figuring out the transportation and then going and organising the flight, all that sort of stuff. This one-stop shop, I hope this really takes off after this year. It takes off, if you pardon the pun. In terms of the convention tickets, they are now out for sale for NARSA members. And that's a regular protocol. NARSA members get first dibs at the hotel rooms and first dibs at the convention tickets as well. And they will be out for public sale in the next week or so. I think we'll basically have them on sale for NARSA members up to and including the 21st or 22nd, and then we'll have them out for general public sale before Christmas for sure, so the 22nd, 23rd. So we'll get that organised. And this year the tickets are $225 Canadian, $225 Canadian for all three events. We did have a wee bit of a glitch in our system setup that I think I described last week, and it was a kind of second week glitch that we'd found, but I'm glad to tell you now that we're all sorted on that front. So it is all systems go, and I can see the ticket sales coming through and people are starting to get used to that as well. So please don't delay on that. It's a very, very simple process. We take all major credit cards and debit cards, and you can get your tickets secured for next week. Put in whatever club you want to be affiliated with or sit with, and then we will take it from there. So in the Toronto Midtown Local Organising Committee also confirmed yesterday that they have the DJ confirmed for who will entertain us at the convention for next year, and it is Sai Leslie from the Gers TV. For folks that subscribe to the Gers TV on YouTube, you'll understand and know who Sai is. And my understanding is that Sai actually DJ'd for a couple of the recent NARSA conventions and also had a presence for the Las Vegas Loyal at their welcome do on the Wednesday in Vegas. I didn't make it down to that event, unfortunately, so I didn't get a chance to go in and see him and see what it was all about. And I haven't actually had the pleasure of meeting Sai yet, but I do look forward to that when it happens, and hopefully we'll get a wee touch point before the event just to give him an idea of who we are, what we like, what we want to see, and get him set up for success as well. Another wee reminder that the NARSA exec are going over on February the 3rd to the 5th to meet with the hotel staff, going over to Toronto, I should say, and we're going to meet with the hotel staff, do a hotel walkthrough, get a meet and greet with the folks that we have to there, and enjoy a game with the Toronto Midtown Club, and ensure that we're just basically organised for everything that's coming up in June. So as I say, February 3rd to the 5th, I'm going to speak to Andy Burnett and the boys over there and see if we want to organise a night, maybe on the Friday night or maybe on the Saturday night, something, nothing lavish or anything like that, but just maybe a central point. If anybody wants to come and say hello, it would be a great chance for some beers to get together and sink a couple of beverages at the same time. On the VIP guests, no significant movement. We had a no from one of the folks that the Toronto Midtown guys had told us they would like to get, and we're still working on the other three that they had on their list as well. Once we have confirmation of those, I think I got confirmation from one, but I didn't get the absolute yes, so we're not in a position to announce it just yet. But I would be very, very surprised if it turns out to be a no, because I know he'll want to be there as well. And in terms of frequently asked questions, we will work on that. I think we'll definitely get that organised in terms of for the general public sale of the convention tickets, so that we can direct folks to that. We'll just update the one that we had from Vegas and get that republished as well. So we'll get going on that fairly shortly. On the communication front for this past week, the main news, I guess, from the past week was that our AGM was indeed held last Tuesday, and from what I can tell, I guess it went relatively smoothly and didn't really produce the type and style of controversy or drama or fireworks that some were predicting. All of the resolutions that were tabled passed, but interestingly enough, Mr. Park's vote to have him re-elected to the board was mightily close to the threshold required to get that in. And I think the threshold was something like 73%. Don't quote me on that, but it was almost 3/4 that needed, and it passed by like the thinnest of margins. They're like by less than 1%, is my understanding. So I wonder I wonder how that will resonate with him personally, quite frankly, and with the board at large. He's still got through, that's a fact, and there's obviously the majority of the fans still do back him as a board member and the chairman of the club. So I guess time will tell on that. But as I say, personally, I wonder how that felt for him, knowing that he just kind of scraped through with the skin of his teeth. I noticed also in terms of the results that I'd read on the website that it was roughly about a 90% turnout of voters, of eligible voters, shareholder voters as well. That's a good number. I'm kind of surprised it wasn't a wee bit higher, just in terms of the intensity of some of the things that were going to be discussed there. But 90% in any walk of life is a good number. There was some good information shared at the AGM on what the club are doing on stadium modifications to accommodate more disabled fans in the ground, which my understanding was well presented and warmly received. And of course, Michael Beale being unveiled the week before, that there wasn't a lot of heightened emotions around the first team positioning or the performances, because they have that out to say that was Gio's team, this is Michael's team, you have to give him a fair shake at it. So, having run a number of AGMs for a number of years for both NARSA and the Rangers Supporters Club of Calgary, I have to be honest and say I find them quite boring and a wee bit energy sapping. When we're in the room, we're obliged to do them, of course, and they are very, very important, but there just isn't a lot of widespread appetite or energy around the business side of organisations for the most part. I like that sort of thing, but I know that and appreciate that a lot of people can't be bothered with it, and they're quite often a little bit flat for me. So my philosophy over the years has really just kind of evolved to get as organised as you possibly can, get through them as quickly as you possibly can, while ensuring we have covered everything that we're supposed to cover, of course. So the Rangers have another one in the books, and we put that one behind us, and we move on. Secondly, this one is from a wee while back, but I kind of think I forgot to let everyone know, but I wanted to let you know that NARSA Communications is going through a wee bit of a modification. We're now part of the link tree setup, which is basically a hub of all or most of our online presence, most of our kind of most visited online presence, if you could say that. And I'll put a link in the blurb for tonight's pod, and you can maybe visit it and bookmark it for future reference, but it has links to certain pages on our website. It has, like for example, the convention specific page. It has links to our social media presence. We took the original inspiration from this from Colin Bowman and his team down in Orlando, who got on this platform previously, and I thought it was such a brilliant idea. So thanks a million again to Andy Carey for picking up the mantle on this one and dedicating the time to get this done. And as I say, I'll put a link on the blurb, and I love that wee one-stop shop of getting everything you need from a NARSA perspective, just from that one link as well. So yeah, another wee kind of convenience factor for our visitors there. I did mention last week when I was doing an overview of the outputs from the meeting, the NARSA executive meeting that we had, that we were going to do a review of our existing website and most particularly our constitution. And our communications director, Fraser Muir, did indeed complete a first pass at that, and I have his findings in my inbox. I haven't had a chance to review that yet. I'll definitely do that this week, but we'll see where we take this one from here. And it was a wee bit long overdue. We should do that fairly regularly, just to make sure there's not a lot of fluff or guff on the site that nobody is visiting, and just give people what they need when they visit the site. So I'm glad to get moving on it. So more to follow on that one when we know a little bit more. And just today on the Rangers website, it was announced that the Indian Councils of Scotland and the United Kingdom have awarded Rangers a very special award for outstanding achievement for community relations. And speaking at a presentation ceremony at Ibrox Stadium, Neil Lal, who's chairman and president of both the Scottish and UK Indian Councils, said, and I quote, "The Indian Councils of Scotland and the United Kingdom are delighted to recognise Rangers Football Club for their outstanding contribution and leadership to community cohesion and tackling all forms of discrimination. We commend the managing director, Stuart Robertson, and the board of Rangers FC for their commitment to ensure people of all backgrounds and cultures can enjoy football in a safe and tolerant atmosphere. The leadership and commitment shown by Rangers FC for the groundbreaking diversity and inclusion campaign Everyone, Anyone is worthy of the highest praise. Being Scotland's largest and most successful football club is a great responsibility. I just love that stuff. But Rangers consistently rise to the challenge, and we are delighted to recognise Rangers Football Club for their continued commitment. We are also delighted that they've begun fostering excellent relations with the football community in India, and following recent discussions with Rangers, the Indian Councils of Scotland and the UK pledged to support Rangers FC with all the developmental work in India. There's other quotes from Stuart Robertson, this fellow Neil also goes on to say a wee bit more, and then there's a quote from Conal Cochrane from the Rangers Charity Foundation as well on the article. So I will put a link to the blurb on that for tonight, but a really good read, and just really great to see the club continuing to invest in the Everyone Anyone campaign. I mean, that's now, I mean, what's that, 3.5 years it's been in play, and it just seems to be going from strength to strength. And it's also great to be seen publicly recognised for the good work that we do. So very, very well done to everyone. Congratulations and nice work to all that were involved. The last thing on the communication front, I did talk and kind of chronicle a wee bit of Dave King's interview with Club 1872 over the last couple of pods. I haven't managed to check out or been provided the link to the third and final part of the session, and I was kind of hoping to have that for tonight just to kind of finish that off, but maybe assuming that we'll get that this week, and I'll finalise that next week and then just kind of do a wee bit of a wrap and an overview on that one as well. But I thought that sort of stuff was really interesting as well. Okie dokie, my friends, that will do it for this week. As always, I cannot thank you enough for taking the time to listen, and please do share this with whomever you think might enjoy it, and we can spread the love a wee bit more across the globe. For this week, I hope our team has a successful start to our league campaign, third, if you like, and Michael Beale gets off to a flyer to give us a taste of what I hope is what's to come. But until next week, please do take care of yourselves, and all the very best. Cheerio.